What's going on, everybody out there, and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Avenger Comic Book Review, coming at you once again on time. We finally were able to catch up. This week was a short amount of books, just like I predicted.
Absolutely.
And so, here we are recording this on Wednesday and giving it to you on Thursday. And in light of the update video I just did, we might actually be able to get this review to you a bit earlier in the week.
Yeah, and speaking of the update video, you actually did that this past week on Monday.
That's right. Instead of doing Dark Avenger Live, I recorded and set to premiere my update video. So now all of the ideas and secrets, things that I've been keeping secret over the course of the past couple of months, I now revealed them all. Right. So now I can talk about them. And hey, pre-review time, and let's talk about the most important thing when it comes to this show that I mentioned in the update video. And that is, after episode 500, this show will be leaving a weekly format. I did say it a little bit different. I said the show will be ending as a weekly format show. So We're not fully, completely ending the Dark Avenger comic book review series. We are just taking it off of the weekly format card because, as we've noticed over the course of the past couple of years, especially as my time is getting very busy and Mike's time is getting very busy, there are certain weeks where we can't do it.
Right, and episode 500 should be at the beginning of the summer, around June and July of 2019.
Right.
Which is when all this will be happening. Yeah. And actually, this is a good thing that you're doing at 500 because it's like halfway point to 1,000.
Which is where the original goal was.
But even though it's going to be not a weekly format, that doesn't mean every 2 years it'll be as the next 100 video, but it's a new chapter
for the series.
For the series, right?
Absolutely.
And we always try something new for every 100th.
Now, that's fine too. You know, again, it's just we don't want to feel pressured. Especially the past month's worth of reviews, we were doing on Saturdays, and last week's was ridiculously late. I think we recorded that on Sunday for Monday. Yeah, we did. It went up on Monday morning. And that's super late. That's really bad. So if we feel like we're going to be super late or it's a super busy week, either we'll hold the books we want to discuss for the next week or for the next episode, or we're just going to skip the week completely. But that is after 500, and like Mike said, that's the beginning of summer 2019. That is a ways away. We are still in the early we are in the either early 470s or the late 460s.
Like it's in between that.
Yeah, it's in between that.
Yeah.
So, and the other piece of news that involves this review is, as of the update video, any new content that I do comic review and news-wise will be on Comic Frontline. And once this review hits 500, 501 on will be premiering on Comic Frontline first. That's right. All of my comic stuff will be moving back to Frontline first. And Dark Avenger C86 will officially, after 500, become a archive channel for all our reviews, my reviews. So if we do 501 on Frontline, about a week and a half to 2 weeks later, 501 will premiere, or not premiere, I'm not going to live premiere, but 501 will be posted on this channel. So any review I do from that moment on Frontline will end up over here on Dark Avenger C86. This will be acting as my archive because I created a new channel, not comic related, where I'm going to be doing a wide variety of different videos. I actually, as we are recording this, I am editing my first video to go live on my channel. Hopefully I'll have that done by tonight, maybe. And it'll be premiering, yes, I'll premiere my first video. I'll be probably premiering it Thursday, Friday. If I don't get to edit it tonight fully, I will finish it definitely tomorrow and have it ready for Friday morning or Friday afternoon. So within the next couple of days, I will be premiering my first video on my new channel. So if you haven't checked it out yet, link will be in the update video. So go check out.
Did you give it a name yet, or?
It's just my name.
Oh, okay.
It's just my name. And I have a pending profile and channel banner. I also have a pending description. I have a lot of stuff I'm going to be working on that channel over the next couple of days. Banner and profile picture still pending for a bit. There needs to be a little bit more work done for them. But we'll get it. It'll all be updated, so look forward to that. But those were basically the updates. All the comic stuff is moving back to Frontline. This channel is becoming an archive. 501 on will not be on a weekly format. It'll be on a when we can basis. And I have a new channel. That's the big new project. And I have a lot of really fun ideas for it. I'm going to be starting off a bit slow, especially because we're in the end of 2018. So I'm going to use the rest of this year to kind of plan out what I want to do on this new channel, and then 2019 we're going to be seeing a lot more on there. So if you missed the update video, like I said, I go more into detail about a lot of different things. Go check it out. The link for the new channel is there. A lot of people have already subscribed without any videos being on there yet, so if you're waiting to subscribe when the videos go up, new video will be there soon. And that, I feel, is it for pre-show.
I mean, if that's all you said about on the update, that's...
I said more, but like I said, you can go check out the update video for that. So let's leave the pre-show at that. So definitely go check out the update video if you didn't yet. Like I said, as you can see, very important stuff was mentioned.
All right. So this week, we have all digitals here. We have 15 digital books. And all these 15 digital books that we're going to review in this episode came out on the week of October 31st, on Halloween night, 2018, and it's the last week of October.
I would hope so. It's Halloween.
Right.
Now, what a way to start. I'm looking down and I see the book we're starting with on Halloween, The Undertaker, Rise of the Dead Man, original graphic novel by Boom Studios. I didn't even realize this was an original graphic novel. I just started reading it because I saw it was a WWE book. And, oh my God, I loved it. If you're a fan of The Undertaker, if you're a fan of his career, his life, obviously they threw some fake story into it as well. This was a fun read. I love how the artwork changed through the eras of The Undertaker. And
the American Badass one, I looked through it a little bit. I like when he was the American Badass with the motorcycle.
I thought this was an excellent book. I would recommend, if you didn't get it, get it. It was a super enjoyment, and I never review WWE books. I let Michael do all of that. But this book was so much fun. I didn't even realize I was reading a graphic novel until I was halfway through, and I'm like, well, I'm going to continue because I loved it, and I loved it, and you should read it.
I did look through it a little bit.
You looked through it, but you didn't read it yet. I'm saying you should read it.
Yeah, for that matter. All right, Ice Cream Man issue number 8. This is the... not the last issue. Like, it's going to be taking a break until January, basically.
Yeah, the new volume is going to be
starting. And
not new volume, but they're going to be continuing along with the new
Now,
volume.
there were a couple of differences when we did Frontline Live yesterday, that there were people who liked the book, but for me, I don't know there was just something about this book that I just didn't like. Like, it was all weird. It's basically two people who are in an ambulance, and, they're taking pills and everything, and they're seeing all these... weird stuff that's going on. And
that's yours, isn't it?
Yeah, that's mine. Yeah, yours. You want me to get it?
No.
Oh, yeah, and then
after your book is done.
And that's all that's really happening. And then what they didn't notice, just basically at the end, that there was the guy in back of their ambulance car that had the knife to his neck, and he's going to be playing a role when the story comes back out again. So basically, that's what the whole story was. It was just bottom pile for me, based on the other books.
You only had 6 books, right? You said 6 or 7?
6 or 7, I can't remember. However, going on the other side of things, Fate Dreamside, issue number 2. This is where Dr. Mirage, for those of you who remember Dr. Mirage, who could talk to spirits, actually appears in the Faith comic book. And first of all, I gotta say, I love the artwork in the Faith comic series because it still uses the same art. And she's on this talk show where, she talks about her life and such. And Fate wants to meet up with Dr. Mirage because her friend Monica is going through demonic entities that are inside of her body. So she goes to Dr. Mirage to try to find out how to get rid of it and whatnot. And, of course, Fate reveals herself to Dr. Mirage that she's a superhero and whatnot. So basically, all this stuff happens, and then she goes into this deep sleep dream. So now it is up to both Faith and Dr. Mirage to go inside of Monica's head, of her dream, conscious-wise, so to say, to get that demonic entity out of her.
Okay.
So to say. So, I would definitely say check out the book if you're also a Dr. Mirage fan. Grimm Tales of Terror, Volume 4, Issue number 8. More of Halloween-related books we're doing, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's
for
Halloween.
For the Halloween week, yeah. And this one was, like, how can I say? It's like when you begin reading the book, it's about basically, you ever saw the movie The Ring? Like, if you watch the tape, bad things are gonna happen. So it's kind of like that, but it was like a live broadcast where if you look at the TV, something bad will happen to you health-wise in the hospital, so to say. So there's this detective who, well, actually not detective, a news reporter, who actually wanted to go on a case to find out more about this. So she goes to these people, and then they tell her about this, and our boss is actually saying about the story that if you really want to do this story, and she feels that she should because she wants to put story. And it's just like a long dialogue. She meets up with this guy who knows about what's been happening to many people in the community, and that's what really it is. There's always a twist in the end where the guy who she talked to that knew about these things is actually the one behind this, like saying, oh, well, you should have walked away when I told you to, but you just stuck your nose in it like a news reporter would do, and, yeah. I really don't want to explain the end because it's self-explanatory. It's not a good ending for the character. So that's all I gotta say for that. So this one I actually reviewed on Comic Frontline, if I can click it. Thank you. And this is actually my book of the week. Sonic the Hedgehog issue number 10. The Battle of Sonic and Knuckles against Super Neo Sonic. And I want to show you actually because I know that you remember like the Sonic the Hedgehog series of the video games. That's Super Neo Metal Sonic. Basically the mix between the Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emerald.
Still can't believe Cat thought Big Cat was a bear.
Some people think Big the Cat was a bear. I mean, he's a cat. Big the Cat. But anyway.
His name is Big the Cat.
Well, long story short. I mean, some people don't know. But long story short, Super Neo Metal Sonic, he's like all the powerful and everything. And I like how Blaze has her own emeralds, the Soul Emeralds, to actually help her with all this, and they can't be taken. Mr. Tinker gets taken away, thinking that he's Dr. Eggman. And then everyone's wondering, where's Shadow? Shadow's not helping out. And, well, there he is, actually. And I want to show artwork, actually, because the artwork is classically drawn amazing. And it was a shocker, really. Shadow helping Sonic and Knuckles, that was really something else. And then the Super Neo Metal Sonic becomes all powerful, and, well, that happens. So, I guess it was the Sonic Overdrive or Shadow's Chaos Control thing because he's known to be like that. But yeah, really, I really enjoy reading this, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next issue of this comic book.
Time for the big two. We're going to start with Marvel as always, and we're doing the Vault of Spiders first. This is my lower book from Marvel and my lower book from Spider-Geddon. This is basically the Edge of Spider-Geddon continuing with a different title. Karn, before his death in the previous Spider-Geddon issue, is now reaching into the web looking for new spiders that we didn't see before. And there's a manga-style Japanese spider. There's Spider, the girl that goes into the Cyber Spider. There's Savage Spider. There were several different stories, and it has Karn looking into those spiders. And I liked it. I thought it was a nice issue, but again, it's something that it's just, again, it's how do I put it? It's just like the Edge of the Spider-Verse was. It's just like Edge of Spider-Geddon was. It's just adding extra spiders, new spiders, and doing like minor origins. Now, in Spider-Force issue number 1, which is there, we get introduced to Spider-Kid, and we get his backstory. Not really a backstory. We get to see him in his universe, but then he's taken from his universe by, I believe it's his granddaughter. I don't know those two characters. Well, Spider-Kid obviously is brand new. The woman I'm not too sure of, and she brings him into the main.
Jessica Drew?
No. That's Jessica Drew. So she brings Spider-Kid into the main 616 where you have Kane talking with Spider-Woman Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman, and he wants to bring her on a mission because, like he tells her, the Inheritors are back and we need help. So he brings Jessica Drew, Spider-Kid, and his granddaughter from the future, question mark, they end up teaming up and going into this other universe to stop Vern, who's the woman, from bringing back I believe it was the cloning, but they go in there to stop her basically, and he destroys their watches, so they're trapped on that world. So basically, she won't have a way out because her watch is destroyed, and if they destroy their watch is destroyed. There's no way for her to leave, and then they come face to face with Space Spider-Man, who I thought was Flash Thompson at first. So
yeah, the way he looked, the way I saw
I
it.
like Spider-Kid. I like the personality. I like that he wasn't raised by Uncle Ben and Aunt May. He was put in a foster home, and his new name is apparently Charlie.
Well, not everybody was with Uncle Ben.
No, I know,
Aunt
but
May.
he was put in a foster home. His name's Charlie, and instead of the great power and great responsibility, he stops these people selling dope, but he takes their money and uses it to pay for his apartment, which is kind of funny. It's kind of a reverse Robin Hood, but at the same time he's doing good, but he's benefiting from it.
Yeah, I would say so.
I like Spider-Kid though. I'm with Jay. If they make a Marvel Legend figure, I'd be happy.
Or his own series, for that matter.
Oh yeah, I would definitely read Spider-Kid. I think there's a lot of story you could tell with Spider-Kid. The possibilities are definitely
It has its potentials to make it into its own
yes.
series.
And then we got Extermination issue number 4. We finally get the reveal of Kid Cable, who tells the whole story. And guess what? Kid Cable's actually a good guy.
Let me guess. Does Kid Cable say like, "Oh, I know what's gonna happen in the future"?
Yes.
Oh.
And he's there because he knows that this guy who's trying to kill one of the young X-Men is trying to mess with history. You kill one of the young X-Men, it changes the course of time, and it destroys mutant kind, and he hates mutants. So that's what he wants to do. And we find out that Mimic gave up his wings so that, Angel could have his original wings back. Because, as we all know, young Cable pulled off his blazing wings and basically replaced them back with his main wings again. And, so we find out that Cable's not such a bad guy. He's actually really good, and he's trying to save the timeline. And the only reason he killed old Cable is because he got soft, and it's weird, and he feels like the same thing's going to happen to him. So now all that's left is to get Scott. And that's when they get attacked. And it looks like at the end of the book Scott dies, but I think, and we all talked about this, I think it was Mimic who made not just a sacrifice for his wings, but I think he sacrificed his life to prevent Scott from dying. And now the next issue is the last issue, and I believe that's where the young X-Men will be going back to their time once and for all, and we won't be seeing them unless we get a book that follows them with their mind wiped and moving forward.
We'll have to see.
Going into DC Comics, and we're starting with the Metalverse Terrifics Annual number 1. I enjoyed this book a lot. We get Java's whole history in one story arc. We get a main story arc with the Terrifics. Basically, there's a party going on, and apparently, I forget, Stag has this experiment he's working on. Obviously, it goes wrong, and it's up to the Terrifics to stop it. And there was a very emotional moment with Plastic Man towards the end. And it was a deep arc, I will say that. And then the last arc was basically, it gave you the backstory of Tom Strong, how he ended up in the dark universe, and then how he left. And then as Tom Strong left that dark universe, and they showed what he was doing there, after he left, Phantom Girl from the Terrifics ended up showing up. Like, that's where she was escaping the carnage, and she ends up in the Dark Matterverse, and that's where it ends. It basically gives you a prequel to what's been going on before the Tom Strong arc started, or before Terrifics started, honestly. And I liked it. I thought it was a great... And this is how an annual should be done. I enjoyed it. Background for one character, a group one to start it off, and then a earlier setup for the Terrifics at the end. It was really good. Artwork was great from all 3 books, and I liked it. I really enjoyed it.
Alright, I also reviewed this on Frontline. Justice versus Master of the Universe, the 6-issue miniseries. And this is at issue 4 we are at right now. The confrontation of He-Man versus Superman. And, you know, it starts off as that battle. We saw Zatanna for a moment that talks with Skeletor, so that can't be good for some reason for there. And it's just, you know, them talking to each other, you know, that Superman thought that He-Man was beaten because of his control, but He-Man had the Cryptek that could go to Superman, but Superman has Brainiac's thing, because you know from Injustice that he's stronger than that. Then we have Darkseid, who is trying to take over Castle Grayskull, and it's just like a whole big thing that happened, and in the end, the biggest thing is that Skeletor is now known as a wizard named Shazam. And basically because of Zatanna's something with that battle happening, that's probably why. And we'll find out in the next issue of how that happened. So, yeah, there's only 2 more issues left. So I kind of figured if they were going to make the He-Man and Superman battle and begin early, there's got to be a catch to it. And it has to do with Skeletor. And I was right. Justice League Dark, Wonder Woman, The Witching Hour, issue number 1.
And the conclusion.
Yes, this is the conclusion to The Witching Hour. And I could just sum this up in basically 2 sentences, minus the heavy dialogue. Wonder Woman is trying to fight off against the power of Nana Parbat. So, what?
You said you could sum it up in 2 sentences. That's 1.
No, the Nana Parbat. And then just basically throughout this whole journey, in the end, we have a new host that's going to take over the, you know, with the whole thing of what happened, and that's how it ends. So this will actually be continued in the Justice League Dark series.
Okay, so it's basically going to continue in Justice League Dark.
It's going to continue in Justice League Dark, so it's not going to be no more Wonder Woman. That's why it's the conclusion of The Witching Hour.
This would have been my lowest book. My least favorite on Frontline Live was Hex Wives, because I couldn't even. But this definitely is right behind it, and that's Batman, Secret Files, One Shot. Do you need it? No. It's a bunch of short stories. I really wasn't a fan of the artwork. One is about, is Batman strong enough? Another one is about this guy who gets hit with some fear gas. If not for the foil cover, which I'm sure DC, exactly, which I'm sure DC did that on purpose, I would have completely and utterly skipped this book as far as the physical
I think after
copy.
the 6th page, I'm gonna X that out.
Yeah, I did not dig this book at all. I don't think it's important for anybody, even if you're reading Batman or Detective. I think it's an easy skip, but that again I leave up to you. You can check it out in your local comic shop. You can check out preview pages, but personally, it is definitely my lowest of the books that I read from beginning to end. This one was right behind it. It was in my top 5, but again, I didn't read that many books this week. Justice League, Aquaman, Drowned Earth, number 1, which is the beginning of Drowned Earth. Dialogue freaking heavy. When you start this book, read Aquaman first. This is not the very beginning. If you jump into this book, the beginning of the book, it takes place in the past, but then when the past is done and you're back in the present, you will be lost. You will not understand why everybody's afraid to get touched by the water or anything. It all starts in Aquaman. Read the previous Aquaman book first. You will be lost. You will be semi-lost. And that was one of my minuses. The other one was massively over-explanation of everything. Lot of dialogue. I'm trying to think of... The artwork definitely didn't hold me either. Story-wise, I think it was good. Again, I just don't think... It didn't start. It started in Aquaman, and this continued it. They should have started... they shouldn't have done... As a one-shot, this should have taken place before Aquaman. But anyway, that's a minor gripe. So... The world is being overtaken by an ocean. Oh, and the bad guys are so generic. They don't even have a reason for doing what they're doing. They're doing what they're doing because the Black Manta made them an offer through the Legion of Doom. So they're generic. Oh, we were offered this. We're just doing it because we were offered something or because this. And they're gods. and it's dumb. And even Aquaman's like, "Why are you doing this?" And they're like, "Because we want to." And it's like, okay, why do I care about these bad guys? I just want to see them die now. Anyway, Aquaman ends up losing his powers to Black Manta, which I didn't like, but it's going to be interesting to see how Aquaman gets his powers back. And the Justice League is not able to stop the water. More and more people are being transformed. Wonder Woman's missing until the very end of the book. Batman stays at the Fortress of Solitude to protect, whatever the being or whatever the thing is called that they found in the first story arc. And a lot's going on. Superman gets his butt handed to him by one of the gods, and Flash ends up getting him away in time. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. But I will say this, and I said this on Frontline as well. If the dialogue and everything is as convoluted in the Justice League book, I might very well take this book, this arc, this Drowned Earth arc, and I'll casually read it, and to be continued with Justice League when we get out of Drowned Earth. So if you don't see me talk about Justice League in the next Dark Avenger comic book review, and I don't mention it at all, I'll try to mention if I'm moving it to a casual read. But if I don't mention it at all, that's why. I moved it to a casual read until this crossover with Aquaman is over, and then we'll see if I bring Justice League back into the fold. I do like Justice League. I'm enjoying the book, but Scott Snyder needs to stop breaking everything down so much. That's just my opinion, but yeah, if it continues with this with Drowned Earth, I can't do Aquaman and Justice League like that and then have another one shot, and I think they're going another month after this. I don't know. I don't think so. Superman Top Cat.
Oh, Hanna-Barbera.
One shot. I loved this book, Top Cat. It connects to the Batman Top Cat side story that we got, and I think it was the first
look at this
rundown. I loved it. So Top Cat is attacked by this lettuce monster, which we find out later on it's an alien from another planet, and you got these other aliens that are like foodies who are looking for the next big food that they can sell. So it turns out they're the bad guys, not the monster. And as Superman's fighting, Superman and Top Cat basically end up teaming up because Top Cat finds Superman for help, and Top Cat's the one that kind of takes down the foodie or the food seller, and Superman and Top Cat are able to help the alien, so to speak. And I really hope we see this in Justice League, but Top Cat gets a job working at the Hall of Justice. I would love to see Top Cat, even if it's just one panel. I would love to see him.
Amazon Prime.
Amazo, yeah, that they had
Amazo,
a robot that Superman and the alien ended up fighting. But I would love to see a panel with Top Cat just to put a nod to this crossover. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. That's a backstory. Is that
Secret Squirrel?
Yeah, that's a secondary story. And if you want the full Secret Squirrel story, you have to read all of the Hanna-Barbera one-shots that came out this week.
Oh, they didn't do like a cartoon version like they used to? Like they go to real art and then cartoon?
No, that's Looney Tunes.
Aw. I mean, usually Hanna-Barbera, I thought,
I know.
they do like...
No, that's Looney Tunes. But I enjoyed this one-shot. I love the Hanna-Barbera stuff. Again, I leave that up to you. Heroes in Crisis. Issue
number 2.
Issue number 2. We reviewed it on Frontline Live. I did a whole Zone 4 about this book, so I'm not going to go too into details about it again for the third time, but I like that the Trinity actually talked in this book. Was talking at the Sanctuary. Booster Gold is cracked, and you see that he reaches out. He's healed by Skeets, and then he reaches out to Flash. Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman go after Harley because they think she did it. And then I like how Harley kind of one-ups Batman a bit and says that it wasn't me, it was Booster. She's back in her classic costume, which was also cool. And then Superman sees Barry because, Booster goes to Barry and tells him. He flips out. Barry goes and checks it out, sees that Booster Gold's telling the truth, and stupid Booster's like, and I think I did it. And I think Barry's ready to kill Booster Gold, and now it's up to the Trinity to save Booster Gold from the Flash. And that's where the book is kind of to be continued. We still don't know who did it. We still don't know who's going to stay dead, and I love it. I love the artwork. I love the mystery behind it all. And I'm excited to see the next issue. This is my number 1 book of the week. I enjoyed it, and this is an event that I feel is being done really well by DC Comics. Definitely better than Drowned Earth. I know a lot of people feel the opposite, but Drowned Earth had a lot of dialogue, was very convoluted, and if it's going to be Scott Snyder splained, yeah. I don't think I'll be reviewing it starting next week. So with that, that is it for this review, guys. So as always, now it is your turn. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about the books that came out this week. Likes, dislikes, agree, disagree, recommendations. It's your turn in the comments. Also, check out the update video, as always. Next week, hopefully, we'll be on time.
We'll see.
I don't see why we shouldn't be. And until then, though, take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting, and we will see all of you in the next episode of the Dark Avenger Comic Book Review.
Hey, everybody.